Okay, so here we are inside of the engine. Let's go ahead and make our first array. So let's go over to the level that we created. Okay, so I'm in here. And inside of this level, I'm going to go into the level blueprint. Okay, this is the example we made before, but let's ignore that for now. I'm just going to disconnect the begin play so we can use it up here. And the way you make an array is just simply creating a variable because arrays are variables. So here, create a new variable. And for this one, we are going to call it character names. So we will have a bunch of character names inside of this variable. So character names, this is some sort of a text, and we can do it with a string. Remember, it's always good to use the one that requires smaller memory if you're able to. Texts are you are able to localize them, you are able to translate them into different languages, for example, German or Chinese. But names really don't need translation, so we can live with a string. Okay, so now we have some character names, and if you drag this out just normally like we did before, this is just a normal variable, and this is not a string. I mean, not an array. So let's delete it. And the way you make it into an array is over here to the right. You can see there's a small button. If you click on this small button, you can change it into different things. So right now we're working with arrays, and here you can click it and see that it now becomes a bunch of boxes, and now we have an array string variable. So let's drag out this string variable, hold control, drop it out into the event graph, and you can see here now it looks a bit different. If I drag out another variable which is not an array, you can see the difference. This is a round pin, this one is a square pin. So now this is an array, this is a normal variable. So now we can add some information to our array. And before that, just like we did with the variables, remember to compile before you can add information to it. So compile and save. And here you can see you can add elements to this array. So instead of being a string, I'm just going ahead and creating a normal variable. So I'm just going to call this character name, and I'm changing it back into a normal variable just so we can see the difference. So now this is a normal variable, this is an array, and these are both strings. So if I compile, you can see here this character array, or this normal variable, we can, for example, write a name. We can write John. So now we have John here, and in this array, we can have multiple information. Remember that this is a set of boxes, and we can have multiple information in here. So if you click here, a plus, we can write John. This is in the index 0. In the next index, we can have my name. In the third one, we can have Casper. In the fourth one, we can have, I don't know, Snake. Someone's called Snake from Metal Gear Solid. We can have Viper. So now we have a bunch of names. We have 5 names. And remember, an array always starts at 0. So arrays never start at 1. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's always 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it starts at 0. And you can add as many as you want here if you need. And now if we want to print this out to the screen with the print string function, we can't really do that because remember, this is an array, and arrays have this box looking thing here. And this is not an array, this is a normal variable. So if you drag it over, it's going to say array of strings is not compatible with string. So you have to do something before you can print it out to the screen. And this is what we're going to learn in the next lesson. But before we finish up, remember that you can create arrays with all the other things. So I can create an array of integers, so numbers, and I can call this, I don't know, maybe character levels. I'm not very creative right now. So we have character levels, and you can change it into an array. Okay, so now this is an array, and here you can again compile and save, and you can add all the numbers you want to this array for whatever you need. This could be levels of players, and you can add as many as you want. So you can have an array of numbers, you can have an array of text. And I'll show you in the next lesson how we are able to access these information in these different indices.